Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Erick Erickson with your afternoon briefing. It's May 22nd, 2025, with the stories conservatives need to know before they get home from work. Story number one, a tax break for gun silencers. The Second Amendment crowd is cheering and the left is clutching their pearls. The House GOP's massive tax package, a behemoth of a bill, included a provision to eliminate the $200 excise tax on firearm silencers, those devices that, contrary to Hollywood's nonsense, don't make a gun whisper like a librarian, but do protect your hearing at the range. This tax, slapped on by the National Firearms Act of 1934, has been a thorn in the side of gun owners for nearly a century. Now, thanks to folks like Representative David Kustoff of Tennessee, it's on the chopping block. Here's the deal. Silencers, or suppressors as they're properly called, aren't about enabling assassins. They're about common sense, protecting your ears when you're out shooting or defending your home. In many countries, they're as standard as a pair of safety glasses at the range, but the left, predictably, is screaming that this is a giveaway to gangbangers and psychos. The data shows suppressors are rarely used in crimes, and the notion that this tax cut will unleash a wave of silent mass shootings is fear-mongering at its worst. You actually will still be able to hear the gun being fired, just not at such loud rates as to rupture eardrums. Now, conservatives don't get too excited yet. This still got to go to the Senate, and the bill doesn't go far enough. It keeps suppressors under the NFA's burdensome registration rules. Folks like Representative Andrew Clyde of Georgia, with his Constitutional Hearing Protection Act, are pushing to deregulate suppressors entirely, arguing they're protected under the Second Amendment. I'm inclined to agree with Representative Clyde on this. The ATF's overreach has been a problem for too long, and if we're serious about liberty, we ought to be dismantling these outdated regulations, not just nibbling around the edges. But for now, this tax cut is a step in the right direction, a small victory for gun owners in a world where the left wants to tax and regulate every right you've got while making everybody have abortions. And now story two, breaking now, Donald Trump has announced a plan to deport Harvard's international students. Over at Harvard, the elites are in a tizzy. It's all thanks to President Trump. According to CNBC, the administration is actively considering a policy that would deport international students at elite universities like Harvard if they participate in anti-American protests or violate visa terms. This comes after years of campus demonstrations, some veering into outright anti-Semitism, where foreign students have been front and center waving flags of nations that aren't exactly our allies. It comes a day after a left-wing anti-Semite gunned down two Israelis in Washington. And to be clear, this would essentially block visas for international students at the Ivy League. You don't get to spit in our face, burn our flag, or chant death to America while enjoying the privileges of an American education. Trump's plan is a wake-up call to universities that have codified this nonsense and coddled it. Harvard, Yale, and the rest of the Ivy League have turned into breeding grounds for radicalism. It's about time someone held them accountable by stopping their importation of new students to radicalize from abroad. The left calls this xenophobic, but let's cut through the noise. It's not about race or nationality. It's about respect for the rule of law and stopping anti-Semitism. If you're breaking visa rules or encouraging in behavior that undermines our nation, you shouldn't get to stay, and you probably shouldn't get to come. Conservatives know the border matters, laws matter, and the gratitude for the opportunities America provides ought to be non-negotiable. Trump's signaling he's serious about enforcing that. Story number three, the Supreme Court ducks a fight over religious charter schools. This is a story that's got conservative heads scratching and praying for clarity. The Supreme Court, in a 4-4 deadlock, sidestepped a major ruling on whether Oklahoma could establish the nation's first religious public charter school, a Catholic one no less. The split decision upholds a lower court's ruling blocking the schools, leaving the issue of church and state in limbo. Justice Amy Coney Barrett had recused herself because one of her best friends was directly involved with the creation of the school involved in the lawsuit. The court's opinion was unsigned, and the entire text of the opinion read, "The judgment is affirmed by an equally divided court. Justice Barrett took no part in the consideration or decision of these cases. It's presumed, based on questions at oral argument, that Chief Justice Roberts sided with the progressives, though that's just speculation. It's a missed opportunity. Religious freedom is under attack in the country, and the left's obsession with secularism has turned public education into a godless vacuum where values are replaced with woke dogma. A religious charter school could have been a test case for restoring faith-based options in education, options parents are begging for. Polls show Americans want more school choice, and conservatives know that competition, not government monopoly, drive excellence. Conservatives will find another school that mirrors the facts in Oklahoma and get it back to the Supreme Court in a way that allows Amy Coney Barrett to participate. She's presumed to be favorable to such an issue. Lastly, the Senate slaps down California's EV dreams. This is a story that's got environmentalists fuming and conservatives nodding in approval. The Senate, in a 51-44 vote, revoked California's special waiver under the Clean Air Act, which allowed the state to set stricter vehicle emission standards than the federal government allowed. This waiver was the backbone of California's push to phase out gas-powered cars by 2035, forcing automakers to churn out electric vehicles, whether or not consumers wanted them. California's been acting like its own little fiefdom, thumbing its nose at the rest of the country with its green mandates. The oil industry and agriculture industry, folks who deal in reality, not utopia, have been fighting this for years, and they've got a point. EVs are expensive, the infrastructure is not ready, or in California, even stable, and forcing Americans to ditch their gas-powered trucks for battery-powered sedans is a fantasy cooked up by coastal elites who don't understand how most of us live. Now, California's Attorney General is crying foul, saying this is unlawful and is gearing up for a court fight. Good luck with that. The Senate vote, led by Majority Leader John Thune, showed Republicans are done letting unelected bureaucrats and left-wing states dictate energy policy. California is screaming about federalism, but the Commerce Clause allows congressional intervention to make sure a single state cannot disrupt a national marketplace for vehicles. And let's not forget the bigger picture. The Congressional Review Act is a powerful tool, and if the Trump administration plays its cards right, it can roll back more of these overreaching regulations. That's a win for common sense. It's a reminder elections have consequences, and with Republican majorities in Congress and a fighter in the White House, we can push back against the green agenda that's been choking the economy. But stay vigilant. California is not going down without a fight, neither are the environmentalists, so neither should we. The gun silencer tax cut is a small but real victory for the Second Amendment. It's a reminder that half measures won't cut it. We need to keep pushing for more. The Harvard deportation plan is a bold move to restore the respect for laws. It's a challenge to conservatives to hold university accountable for the radicalism they're fostering. Keeping students from abroad from coming to this country is a good incentive for these colleges to crack down on anti-Semitism. The Supreme Court's dodge on religious charter schools is a call to action and to find another charter school to fight the good fight. California's EV smackdown, it's a signal the tide is turning against progressive mandates. We got to keep the pressure on. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, like and share this video. It helps us grow it. This is Erick Erickson signing off with a reminder, stay informed and engaged, and don't stop fighting for the America you believe in. God bless. Have a great day.